wire from COM0 to DC minus, which is any of the right side.
another episode of the Untold Stories about Courage, Grit and Valor. This is your today's host, Harleen Kaur. It's an absolute honor to welcome the veteran Major General A.K. Swat sir. He was the former head of the Territorial Army and Chief of Staff of 14 Corps of Leh and Ladakh. He has always displayed exemplary leadership and professional skills against all the heavy odds. He has been awarded with Yudh Seva Medal, Vishish Seva Medal and Bar. I would like to welcome you once again, sir. As we all know, joining army isn't an easy task. So what was the force behind joining the army? Was it out of passion or it was in the blood?
It is combination of both, Harleen. It was in blood. My grandfather was involved in freedom fighter struggle. He went to 2 jails, one in Miawala and Ambala for 1 year. And it was also passion that at a young age of 9 years, I joined Sainik School Kunjpura Karnal. And thereafter, from Sainik School, after doing higher secondary, I went to National Defence Academy, Pune, and from there Indian Military Academy, and then I got commissioned in 1978 in the 7th Battalion of Jammu and Kashmir.
So, जैसा हम सबको पता है कि कारगिल वॉर जीतना आसान नहीं था, बहुत सारी चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ा हमें. तो आप हमें बता सकते हैं what all led to कारगिल वॉर?
98-99 के अंदर जब हमारी डिप्लॉयमेंट थी, उसके अंदर भी कुछ गैप्स थे. और वो गैप दोनों तरफ थे, भारत में भी पाकिस्तान में भी. और वो यकीन था कि दोनों एक दूसरे को एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं करेंगे. आप देखें अगर 5006 और बटालिक का जो सेक्टर है, संगरूती टॉप से लेके चोर बाटला तक, जो ट्रुप्स थे वो डिप्लॉयड इतने नहीं थे. तो मुझे लगता है कि पाकिस्तान ने इसका इस्तेमाल किया कि जो गैप्स थी डिफेंसेस के अंदर, उनको मौका उठा के उनको इन्फिल्ट्रेट किया. हाँ, कुछ एक ऐसी पोस्टें भी थी जो कि विंटर वेकेटेड होती थी क्योंकि बर्फ़ बहुत ज़्यादा पड़ती थी, कम से कम 30 से 35 फीट पड़ती थी. तो उस चीज़ का भी फ़ायदा उठाया. इसके बाद जब लड़ाई से हमने बहुत लेसन सीखे. ये है कि जो सुब्रमण्यम कमेटी ने जो लेसन दिए कि जो डिप्लॉयमेंट है अब हमारी बहुत ज़्यादा थिक हो गई और वहाँ पर कोई गैप्स नहीं है और बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी डिफेंसेज आ गई हैं और बंकर्स आ गए हैं. उसके बाद माइंस अच्छी तरीके से ले हो गई हैं, वेपन सिस्टम बड़ा आ गया है. तो अब हम बहुत ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर्ड हैं कंपेयर जो कि हम कारगिल वार के पहले थे.
So, जैसा उस सिचुएशन के बारे में सबको पता है कि एनिमी टॉप ऑफ द हिल पे बैठी हुई थी और हम नीचे थे. तो इस सिचुएशन का जाहिर सी बात है एनिमी ने फ़ायदा तो उठाया है, एडवांटेज. तो लेकिन इस सिचुएशन का हैंडल कैसे किया गया?
कारगिल की लड़ाई में मकसद क्या था चीन पाकिस्तान का? उनका मेन मुद्दा ये था कि जो साइचन ग्लेशियर है उसकी जो डिपेंडेंसी है वो लेह लद्दाख के थ्रू है और कारगिल के थ्रू जाती है. तो उन्होंने सोचा कि अगर हम ये रोड कट कर देंगे जो जारी है एक प्रकार श्रीनगर से कारगिल से जो जारी है लेह के लिए, तो फिर आपका जो लॉजिस्टिक सप्लाई है और वेपन अम्यूनिशन और जवान जो जाते हैं ग्लेशियर में वो नहीं जा पाएंगे और उससे क्या है आप उसको रख नहीं पाएंगे, आपको वोकेट करना पड़ेगा. ये सोच के उन्होंने किया था. और इसमें कुछ हद तक उन्होंने ये भी था कि जो हाइट्स उन्होंने पकड़ी, जो इन्फिल्ट्रेट करके जो हाइट पकड़ी, वो डोमिनेट कर रही थी आपकी रोड जो श्रीनगर द्रास कारगिल ले, और उस पर चलना बड़ा मुश्किल था. दिन के टाइम में कन्वॉय नहीं मूव कर सकते थे, लॉजिस्टिक सप्लाई जो थी वो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी. तो सारी मूवमेंट रात को होती थी. या हमने एक उनका डिट्यूर बनाया, पीछे गए डेप्थ में, वो क्या, मगर उसमें टेरेन बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट थी. तो ओवरऑल ये सच्चाई है कि जो जब तक हमने दुश्मन को डिस्क्लोज नहीं कर दिया उन हाइटों से, तब तक मूवमेंट जो थी उस रोड पे इतनी फ्रीली नहीं हो सकती थी, ज़्यादातर रात को होती थी.
So this year we will celebrate 25th Kargil Vijay Divas. So अब हम कितनी टेक्निकली प्रिपेयर्ड हैं एंड व्हाट आर दी स्ट्रैटेजीज?
देखो सच्चाई ये है कि 99 से अब बदला हुआ भारत है, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर्ड है. पहले तो अगर आप डिफेंसिव देखें तो बहुत ज़्यादा हमारी इनप्रेग्नेबल डिफेंसिव हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा थिकन अप हो गई है. वहाँ पर एक ब्रिगेड से ज़्यादा ट्रुप्स और आ गए हैं, जो गैप्स थे वो प्लग हो गए हैं, कोई विंटर वेकेटेड पोस्ट नहीं होती. फिर डिफेंसिव की जो प्रिपरेशन है वो बहुत अच्छी है. और उसके बाद हमारा वेपन सिस्टम जो है वो ज़्यादा अच्छा आ गया. अभी जैसे पता आपको बॉफर्स ने एक बड़ा मेजर रोल प्ले किया था उस टाइम कारगिल की लड़ाई में. इसके बाद जो हथियार इन्फेंट्री यूनिट को आए हैं वो काबिल तारीफ़ हैं, बहुत मॉडर्न वेपन आ गए. और दूसरी बात यह है आर्टिलरी की सपोर्ट जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है, फिर एयर की सपोर्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो ओवरऑल अब हम बहुत आगे पहुंच गए हैं. जो एक नॉर्मल इन्फेंट्री सोल्जर के पास वेपन होता है वो भी बहुत ही काबिल तारीफ़ है। अभी इंसाज आ गई थी और उसके बाद अब हम आपको पता है 6/716 आ गया है। उसके बाद हमारे पास लाइट मशीन गन सब ऑटोमेटिक हैं, MMG, हर वेपन सिस्टम में बढ़ोतरी हुई और अच्छे आए हैं। तो इसलिए यही कहूँगा कि आज की तारीख में भारत की फ़ौज ज़्यादा बेटर ट्रेन है, मोटिवेटेड है और वेल इक्विप्ड है। हाँ।
So what are the future challenges for India?
आज की तारीख में फ्यूचर चैलेंज, भारत का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है वो है चीन। इसमें कोई शक नहीं। और अभी पाकिस्तान को अगर आप देखें उसकी इतनी मिलिट्री कैपेबिलिटी नहीं रही, वो एक इरिटेंट रह के गया। इसीलिए अभी भारत की फ़ौज का जो फोकस है वो वेस्टर्न सेक्टर से जाके अभी नदर्न सेक्टर की तरफ है। अगर आप देखें पहले हमारे पास एक प्रकार से जो स्ट्राइक कोर भी नहीं थी नदर्न सेक्टर में, अभी एक स्ट्राइक कोर रेज की थी 17, उसके बाद हमने एक स्ट्राइक कोर जो वेस्टर्न सेक्टर में थी वो भी हमने नदर्न सेक्टर में की है। तो एक साफ़ सुथरा मैसेज है चीन को कि अब हमारे अंदर काबिलियत और क्षमता है कि हम आपके अंदर जा सकते हैं। भारत ने जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है लद्दाख से लेकर अरुणाचल प्रदेश तक अब बहुत ज़ोरों से बने, सड़कें बन रही हैं, टनल्स बन रही हैं, ब्रिजेज बन रहे हैं, हमने अभी लॉजिस्टिक सप्लाई डिपो बना लिया बहुत बड़े। तो अब भारत ऐसा लगता है अगले 5-10 साल में कैचअप करेगा। देर आए दुरुस्त आए, क्योंकि जो चीन था वो तो 50-60 साल से ही अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रहा था। और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ आज की तारीख में है, चीन की बैटल हार्डन फौज नहीं है। चीन ने लड़ाई नहीं लड़ी है 1979 के बाद। उन्होंने लास्ट लड़ाई लड़ी थी 1979 में वियतनाम के साथ, एक छोटा देश है, वहाँ भी मुंह की खानी पड़ी थी। जबकि भारत की फ़ौज 50 साल से लड़ती आई है। 3 लड़ाइयाँ हमने कम से कम पाकिस्तान से लड़ ली हैं। उसके बाद आज भी हम साइचन ग्लेशियर और हाई एल्टीट्यूड में रेयरफाइड इन्वायरमेंट में रहने के काबिल हैं। तो ये चीन को भी भली बात ही मालूम है कि जो चीन की कॉन्स्पिरेशन आर्मी है वो भारत का मुकाबला नहीं कर पाएगी। तो ये सच्चाई है कि भारत अपने को ये भी मालूम है भारत को अकेला लड़ना है, और यही नहीं चीन से, ऐसा भी हो सकता है चीन और पाकिस्तान से इकट्ठा लड़ना पड़े, तो 2 फ्रंट वार, भारत उसके लिए भी तैयार। तो सच्चाई है भारत अब बहुत आगे बढ़ चुका है। भारत आज एक ऐसी पगार पे है जहाँ पर उसका मोराल भी हाई है, ट्रेनिंग भी बहुत अव्वल दर्जे की है, वेपन इक्विपमेंट भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। अब भारत का नज़रिया अलग है। भारत एक बहुत ही उभर के देश आया है और आज इकोनॉमिकली 5th लार्जेस्ट है। आने वाले कुछ 1-2-3 साल में हम 3rd लार्जेस्ट हो जाएंगे। जर्मनी और जापान को भी पीछे छोड़ देंगे और मिलिट्री के अंदर भी हम 2nd लार्जेस्ट होने वाले हैं। और जिस प्रकार से हम अपने वेपन खुद बना रहे हैं वो काबिल तारीफ है। मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर वर्ल्ड।
बढ़ेगा भारत तभी तो बदलेगा भारत।
बिल्कुल।
हो मेरा रोम रोम तेरा कर्जदार है, हमारी ये आजादी तेरी कर्जदार है। शुक्रिया 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 हो शुक्रिया।
Have you heard about this Samsung flip phone? You only have to look at it once.
It's great.
And then it gets like stuck inside your mind or something. And the only way to stop it is to switch.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'd never switch to Samsung. Leave. Now.
Hello and welcome to Dora CCTV. In this video we will show you two different ways of using IVM S4200 software. First through the local IP address. And second option to add HIC Connect account into software. On the computer first we need to download IVM S4200 software. You can find the link on our website at doracctv.co.uk. Once you are on our website, click on Technical, then click on Software and Tools. From the list you can select IVM S4200 software. We have the software for Mac and PC. Once you clicked on the link, it takes you to hikvision website and you can download IVMS from here. This might takes few min, so we will skip the downloading. Once the software is downloaded, you can install it on your PC. Just click on Accept Terms and Condition, and go to the next page. We install the software with default settings. OK, once the software installed, click on Finish. Software should be running automatically. This is just to enable notification for new update. Now you can create a new username and password. Password should be 8 to 16 characters, mixed of number, lowercase, uppercase and special character. Also, password should not contain the username. On this page you can answer 3 different questions in order to reset your password in future. Once it's done, you will see the main panel of IVM S4200. You can click OK to go through the wizard page. We will close the wizard settings. On the right-hand side of the panel, we have Device Management. When you click on it, it will take you to this page. From here you can click on Online Devices. Bottom of the page you can see all the local hikvision devices with IP addresses. Please note, if you are adding your devices this way, you can only view the cameras while you are connected into the local network. That means if you leave the premises you will not have access anymore. We will also show you another way of adding the cameras, where you can get access to the camera from anywhere. You can find the device you wish to add by the model number. Once you find the device, select it and click on Add Icon. Then give a name into the device. That is optional name. We use local device as a name. Then type in the DVR or NVR username and password. And make sure import to group is enabled. Then click on Add. As you can see, device is added here, and status showing online. If status is not showing online, move the mouse cursor over it to read the error message. To view the cameras running, click on the square box on the top left-hand side. Then click on Main View.
शर्मा जी की दुकान में अब ग्राहक मुस्कुराते हैं। समीर के कैफे से कस्टमर्स खुश होकर जाते हैं और ज्योति की ऑनलाइन दुकान पर देश भर से ऑर्डर्स आते हैं। क्योंकि बिलिंग हो या ऑनलाइन दुकान या इन्वेंट्री जैसे मुश्किल काम, क्यू बस्टर से बिजनेस करना होगा आसान। भारत के लाखों बिजनेसेस को नए मुकाम दे रहा है क्यू बस्टर।
On the left-hand side of the screen, as you can see, local device is added. You can click on View All Cameras in Group. There you go. All cameras showing up on the screen. Because we did not connect any cameras yet, you see the no video image. Okay, now camera is connected for our test. If you click on the three dot here, you can select the first option to view all the cameras at once. Or you can click on the little arrow next to local device and select the cameras individually. Just double-click on each channel number to view the cameras. If you click on the three dot next to the camera, you can check some of the settings such as modify camera name, camera status, remote configuration, stream type and other settings. In order to close any cameras, move the mouse over the channel you wish to close it, and just click on the cross mark in the corner. And then click on the play icon to view all the cameras. Another option you have here is to adjust number of channels showing on the screen. You can modify that by 1, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Now let's close all the cameras and we will show the second way of adding the DVR or NVR into the IVMS 4200 software. First click on Maintenance and Management tab. And from here click on Cloud icon on top of the screen. Select the country and click on OK. Now you need to have your HIC Connect account details ready. We already made another video how to set up HIC Connect account, but we will show you briefly how to add the device. On the DVR or NVR, right-click on the mouse and select System. Then click on Network, and then Advance. From here select Platform Access. Make sure that the device status is online. Please note you will see two QR code here. On the right-hand side if to scan it with your phone and download the HIC Connect app. The one on the left-hand side is the one you can scan it with HIC Connect app in order to add your device. On the phone, open the HIC Connect app and log in. Click on plus icon, top right-hand corner. Then scan the QR code showing on the DVR. Once you scan, the device model number will appear. You can click on Add and then click on Next. On this page you can change the name. We will keep the model number and add test at the end of the name. On this page you can authorize installer, but we will skip this page. Now you can see our new device has been added successfully into our HIC Connect account. In order to find username, email address or phone number associated with your HIC Connect account, click on More and click on the account. Once you know your account details, you can go back to IVMS 4200 on your PC and type in the login details. Okay, let's go back into the computer and type in the HIC Connect account username and password. Once you are logged in, all the devices that already been added to the account will appear here. And this message pop up, saying once you are logged out, the device will be removed from the software. As you can see, all our devices are added into the software. You can check all the name for devices here. Now let's click on Main View and find the test device we are looking for. The first device is the one added via local IP address. And second device is added via HIC Connect account. Our test DVR device is here. In order to play the camera, you can click on Play icon. You can drag and drop camera into a different window. If the verification code is enabled on the DVR, you will see this message. This video is encrypted. Input the stream key to view the video. In this case, you need to type in the verification code. We go back to the DVR and enable the verification code and show you what to do. Okay, we're back to DVR page. Under Network Settings, Advanced, you can see the platform access. The verification code is here. You can click on the eye icon to make the character visible. All you need to do is type in the code into IVM S4200 software. Let's go back to the PC and test it. Once you type in the code, the view picture come up. You can select the other camera and the code should be already there. Just need to click OK. If you have too many devices same as us, you can create a group for each device. To do that, click on Maintenance and Management page. Click on Group. And then click on Add Group. Give a name to the new group. We just call this group Test. And you can click on Import to add the different cameras from your device into the group. In this video, we only select 2 cameras from our test device. Now let's go back to Main View. If we close our old device, you can see here new group added under test name, and it has only the 2 cameras we selected. Thanks for watching our videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, good morning and welcome. My name's Dave, or Ditech, CTO DVS. As always, thank you very much for your time wherever you are in the world watching. It is very much appreciated. And today we hope to deliver some valuable content in the form of IVMS 4200. As always, I'm joined by my trusty sidekick, Reese, who heads up the technical team. He isn't in the building today. He's working from home. It's just me in the building today. So he will answer any questions you may have as I go through the presentation. If he needs any of my assistance, he will always jump in and I will try to answer the best I can. If I can't answer it, I will get back to you. If you've got any outstanding questions, suggestions or comments, please use webinar@dvs.co.uk and myself and Reese will be willing and able to help you wherever we can. So, audio's working. You can all see my screen. You've joined, I've already installed IVMS 4200. This is the latest version. I'm not going to go through the installation process because that takes a couple of minutes and it is literally click, click, click. What you will find is that this is the latest version 3.2. So under the burger menu that people call this, at the top you can see about, and you can actually see this is the latest version. But again, suggest that you always check The easiest and best way is either ask us, or you can go to the Hikvision Europe portal, and there's a UK and Europe portal on there where you're able to search for any of our firmwares, product catalogs, certificates, and also softwares. So I really suggest that you update it to the latest version. One thing you'll notice with this latest version is I'm in dark mode. I absolutely love dark mode everything. I'm like the Dark Knight. If it is dark mode enabled, it's going on. Some people like the light theme, so you can change the skin. Again, if you wanted to change the skin, on the top under the burger menu where some of the quick access menus are, you can go to skin and then choose bright or dark series. If you choose that, the software will recalibrate and it'll go into very light mode, but we're going to concentrate on the dark mode. I think it's much more appealing. Okay, what you'll also notice is when I did the installation, I actually added and selected all of the modules that I needed or that I could add. So you can see I've got the access control, report, AI dashboard, data retrieval options. You don't have to install them if you want to limit them down so your customer doesn't have them or it stops them being used. During installation, just select the basic setup, or you can select all of the modules and add them as required. We've added everything because it's going to make it a little bit easier for when we go through this. So the first thing you need to do is obviously add some devices. So under device management, when you've set up your username and password for the software and any of the security questions that you may need to reset the password if you lose it for the software, you get into the main menu, and this is the home menu. So we've got video application, access control, and the general application settings. What we will do is go through mostly the VMS side. The access control is almost a dedicated webinar on its own. You can do a lot within it. I will touch on it, but if you guys feel the need to go through the access control more, then we will go through that as a separate webinar. This is more for the video-led stuff today. The reason being, with everybody working remotely or trying to help remotely, this tool becomes a really valuable asset in you being able to add your Hikvision backend devices or cameras to the software so you can maintain them, update firmware, do health checks, etc. remotely without the need to go to site and make some vital adjustments. So it is a free, really valuable remote tool. It differs from Hike Central in that Hike Central is a licensed product and it is a client server architecture. So we have a dedicated server and the clients connect to the server. Hike IMS 4200 is a client-only software, so it's a one-time installation. You can have many instances running across many PCs, but they don't talk to each other. So any change you make on one, you potentially have to make that on several PCs. So depending on the application, it may be that Hike Central is a better VMS for you, but 4200 is certainly not to be sniffed at. Whilst it's free, it's still an extremely powerful and well-used program. And they've made some massive advancements compared to the old version too. So I urge you to download it and give it a go, at least if you haven't already. One thing I will say is please check the spec of your PC. If you need us to send a recommended spec out to you, then we can. A lot of people complain that sometimes it can be quite resource hungry, and which is true. Again, it depends on if you add none or all or minimum or all of the modules on installation and what you're doing with it. So if you're running a very basic PC without dedicated graphics and you're trying to view 64 cameras, then expect it to be slow. But we can send recommended specs as required. Okay, first thing you need to do when you load into the software is on the right-hand side in the main menu is go into device management. First of all, you have to add the device. Whatever that device is, it has to be added. There is no default device. As you can see, I've added some basic devices in here already because I've been, well, these are the devices I use every day within our building. I'm going to add another device to show you the process. Two ways of doing this. You can click online device. Yes, for the firewall. You can either find the devices here, select them, click add, and then add them that way. That only works if the PC is in the same subnet as the network as the camera. So if the PC and the devices you're trying to add are in the same subnet, absolutely fine. If they're not, then it won't find them. That's quite obvious. You can also enable any devices or activate them by default. So if you connect a device, a DVR, NVR, IP camera to the network, this software will allow you to activate that device. By default, they're unactivated. So you would see the device unactivated in here, and you'd simply select the activate function. You'd input the password that you want, the admin password, and then it enables you to change the IP address to match whatever rule or application that you need, and then you can add it to the software. You can also do password resets from within IMS 4200. Again, the device has to be within the same subnet. You have to be able to see it, and then you can click on the reset password function there. You can export the file. You can send it to Hikvision, or if you're a customer of ours, to us. We will process that file through the reset portal and send you a file back. You then import that key using the import function, type the new password in, click on OK, and in theory, the password will be reset. We can only do that for customers of ours. Again, if you're not in the UK or use a different distributor, you can speak to them. Or if you're outside of the UK, just speak to Hikvision directly. They are pretty quick at doing them. Another thing is, sometimes it is quicker just to default a camera directly. If it is an IP camera, you'll find a lot of the time they have reset buttons underneath the SD card flap. Take the flap off, hold the reset button in, down power the device, power it back up, hold it for 15 seconds, and it will put it into a default mode. So sometimes it might just be easier and quicker to do that. Just a little tip for you. Okay, so we're going to add the device manually. So click on add. We're going to give it a name. So we'll give it DVS IDS false alarm NVR, but this could be anything. Address 192.168.3.205. Port admin details and password. So I'm going to type this password in, but obviously not tell you. And synchronize time, yes. So that'll push the time from the software to the NVR. Import it to a group and click add. You can see there, I've added the device, DVS IDS false alarm NVR. It's come online and it's told us the detail. Now, there's a nice little tip you can use here. Many people still don't know this function, and they still like to go and name all of the cameras manually within the software, which takes a long time. So if you name the cameras in the NVR, which most people do, to give it an OSD name, you can go into group, drop the box down, select encoding channels, right click and select update camera name. It will go and pull all of those names from the NVR that have been inputted manually, and then it saves you having to do it twice. So here's a nice little tip for you. It amazes me. 20, and I just used the wrong password, for instance. Click add. The device is offline. It hasn't imported it. But so if I modify this device and put the correct password in, so say for instance I do use the correct password and port, it won't pull through the camera name. Under group, it will also not appear by the group name because it wasn't online the first time you did it. Simply then create group by device name, select the device, click OK, and it will create a new group. And then again, you can import the name. So another little way of doing it if the device is offline when you first add it to the software, because it won't be added in here. Okay, another couple of little things you can do. If you select the device, let's just get rid of that one because it's not valid. So for instance, if I selected the IDS false alarm NVR, I've got full remote control, remote configuration from here. So if I click remote configuration, it will present me with two options: basic settings and advanced functionality. Basic settings basically opens up the web page to the NVR. So whatever web page that is using, web page port, HTTP port, it will open it on that. If it's on a static IP address, please use the applicable port forwarding to match the ports that you have assigned within the NVR DVR, the default to 80,554. But again, if you do change them, which we do recommend, please change as needed. Web page gives you 95% of the configuration that you need, and you can do it remotely. It's like being in front of the NVR DVR, and in fact, some of the functionality is only available through the web page. So in fact, it's very useful to have. You'll also see that there is a advanced function. If you use the advanced function, it opens up the older SDK interface, which then gives you some of the functionality that is unique to the machine that isn't in the generic web page when you open up the basic functions. So you can adjust like login security, storage, if you're using RAID, etc. And you can adjust that through the older SDK interface. And each machine will differ on the advanced functionality depending on what the machine is. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. You've also got the device status. So if I click on the device status, it can actually tell you, and this is a little handy one if you're not using Hike Central, so you don't have the full health monitoring tool, that this gives you a brief snapshot of what that unit is performing like. So again, remote health checks are possible. So it tells you if it's online, ticks are good, etc., free space, and you can scroll through and see some basic parameters, which gives you an overview then of what this unit is doing. Nice little health. Not as powerful as the health monitoring within Hike Central, but it does give you some overview. You can refresh and also see what online users are connected to the machines. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's all you need to do within the device management. When we've added our devices, we've got them online, added them in, you can have up to 256 devices or 1,024 video channels, whichever is reached first. So there is a limitation on the software. If you go past that, you need to use Hike Central. That is technically unlimited. You know, there are systems out there, 10,000 cameras plus. 100,000 cameras is quite easily achieved. Again, this is a very limited system on the fact there's 256 devices or 1,024 video channels. Okay, so 64 access control doors before anyone asks. Moving on, so under the maintenance and management, again, you can actually set events, video events from within the software itself. So a lot of people will do this through the web browser or through the local GUI, but you can do this through the software as well. So you can select a video event, access control event, or security control event. Again, select the applicable unit, select the actual channel, and then you can actually say any of these events here. You can select it, enable or disable it. So whether they come through to the software, you can disable, enable all, and then you can actually select one of the events. So say a blacklist alarm, edit linkage, and then you can select what it does within the software. So it's an audible warning, and then what that sound looks like. Send an email, pop-up window, display on map, and then the linked camera to this, and then you can click save. So each event category can be individually tailored, so it's more powerful than the older software. Again, that's a case of you going through that and disabling, enable it, and editing the linkage actions as required. Each site and each person will do this slightly differently. Again, if you can look at the alarm inputs, you can actually do the same for alarm input. So if you look at the alarm input 1, it's a sensor alarm, it's enabled, click that, edit linkage, and you can tell the software what it does when it's presented with an alarm from an alarm input. And the same for device alarms. So you've got the decoding, offline, hard drive full, hotspot exception, illegal logins, recording exceptions, etc. Each one can be tailored as needed. And you can even edit the priority. So the highest priorities will always be presented first. So still really powerful software considering it's free. Storage schedule, again, you can select your device, select your channel, and whether you stream it, storage on the encoding device, this will be done on the encoding device, but you can do it through the software. You can actually enable or disable it, what the schedule is, capture schedule, and then if you're going to use the software as a storage server, there is an element where you can use IMS 4200 as the storage server as well. I don't recommend it. The Linux that's placed on the NVRs, DVRs is way more stable, way more cost effective, and you won't have any issues. If you are going to use the PC to be the storage server, I would really look at what PC you're going to use. That it's very critical that you follow the specification on the PC when you're using the PC and the software to do the recording. And like Windows, isn't as stable as we like to think it is unless you're using the server platforms. So you may have some issues with reboots, updates, or glitches, etc. So just be mindful. It's not what we promote, but again, it can be done if you want to. And you can store pictures and additional information on the PC as well if you require it. So when an event comes through, the picture can be stored on the PC for reference. Again, you recommend to put a separate dedicated hard drive in for that purpose. Again, it's a case of going through each one and setting that storage schedule up independently. If you are just adding the NVR DVR for live view and playback, then that schedule will be imported from the NVR DVR that you've already done, or an IP camera with an SD card perhaps. Okay.
After a long gap.
Account management, this is where we can add separate users into the software. So default is admin. Again, it's granular level, so you can click on add, select whether an administrator or an operator. give them a name and a password, and it's as simple as selecting what they are allowed to do and then selecting the applicable. So they are allowed to do certain things on the left-hand side, and then even selecting which camera they're allowed to view or play back on the right-hand side. So they may have the functionality of live view, playback, export, but only applicable cameras that you tick on the right-hand side would allow you to do that. So if it's a privacy issue, a covert camera or something, GDPR, then you can tailor that to the user. So again, default is just the admin, but you add users in past that have the detail that you allow them to have. Pretty straightforward, but again, quite detailed. System configuration. This is where we configure elements of the software itself. So pretty much out of the box or during out of the install, should I say, it's sort of optimized for sort of general use, but we can
white cement वाला liquid primer, बिरला white primer को ये पेंट और कंसर संपर्क को करे पक्का बिरला white primer को primer.
Maximize mode, so we're going to go full screen with it. Again, these are just
जयकृष्ण राजगुरु महापात्र से खोरକୁ ରକ୍ଷା କରିବା ନିମନ୍ତେ ହସି ହସି ବୀର ଦର୍ପର ସହିତ ମୃତ୍ୟୁବରଣ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏହି ବୀର ଯୋଦ୍ଧାଙ୍କର ସଂଘର୍ଷମୟ ଜୀବନ ପଥର ଅଭୁଲା କାହାଣୀ ପ୍ରଥମେ ତାଙ୍କ ଜନ୍ମରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା। ଜନ୍ମରୁ ବୀର ଜୟରାଜଗୁରୁ 1739 ମସିହା ଅକ୍ଟୋବର 29 ତାରିଖରେ ପବିତ୍ର ଅଁଳା ନବମୀରେ ପୁରୀ ନିକଟସ୍ଥ ବୀର ହରେକୃଷ୍ଣପୁର ଗ୍ରାମରେ ଜନ୍ମଗ୍ରହଣ କରିଥିଲେ। ପିତା ଚାନ୍ଦ ରାଜଗୁରୁ ଏବଂ ମାତା ହାରାମଣୀ ଦେବୀଙ୍କ କୋଳମଣ୍ଡନ କରିଥିଲେ ଜୟରାଜ।